go almost. Coming up on Facebook in just a moment here. Let me get the heating pad going because it is chilly in here tonight. Our air conditioning system is still on the fritz, so as of right now we are a little bit brisk in Studio A for tonight. In the next about 15 minutes, this is going to be a short episode for tonight as we do not see much of anything really starting off that's going to be any major problems. There is the possibility of some flash flooding going on, but that is really about all that we have to talk about for tonight. So here's hoping that it stays that way into the course of the next couple of days. That's going to be the worst potential of everything. But we'll talk more about that in the full edition of Weather Overtime, so stand by, and here we go. All right, it is just past 9:45 Eastern Time, and as of right now, getting a few extra things organized here out of reach and out of view. As of right now, things are very much on the quiet side, so as I typed into the comments section below, it's more than likely going to be a very short weather overtime for tonight. For right now, again, less in the way of problems being seen across much of the region. We do still have the potential of flash flooding going on, so that in and of itself could be a minor problem into the next couple of days. But as we saw around the area of Polk County in Tennessee and Murray County in Georgia, we did have some pretty good flash flooding in the course of the last couple of days. So it is possible that we're going to be seeing more of that into the next several days. We'll talk more about that coming up here in just a little bit. If you've never joined us here before, welcome to the show. We are live on YouTube, we are live on Twitch, and we are live on Facebook concurrently to bring you as much weather information as we can possibly give to you. We've got, again, some quiet conditions for the next several days. We'll talk about that here. If you've got any questions, please drop them into the comments section. Again, we're live on not just Facebook, but Twitch and YouTube if you'd like to see more about what's going on. We do have some to talk about for tonight, so let's go ahead and hop into it and show you a little bit more about what's happening. Drop any comments you got into the comments section. If you got any questions about the forecast, please ask them, and we'll do our best to answer as many of them as we possibly can, so stay tuned for that. 85 are high temperatures, some 25 degrees or so below where we should be for a record at this time of the year. 72 the low, so we were relatively close to where we should be, if not just a little bit below normal for this time of the year. No rainfall to report at the airport. We still have a fraction of an inch surplus, and we are still behind for the year by 6.6 inches plus. We need at least 6.5 to 6 3/4 inches just to break even for this time of the year. It's that dry across the area. We talked about the drought index, which is better, but still not great over the last couple of days. So we'll talk more about that hopefully tonight at 11 if you'd like to see more about that. Thanks to everybody for sending in some great pictures out there. Taking a look in the rearview mirror, our fine feathered friend from around the area of Engleford, Tennessee, if I'm not mistaken. Thank you very much. News 12 viewer Jacqueline Glassford for our HEP heating weather window picture of the day. If you've got pictures that we could share, let's see them. Drop them to us by email. Go ahead and get them to us. You can drop them into the comments section of the social media pages that we manage, Facebook, formerly Twitter, and Instagram. So if you've got the opportunity to do so, you can do it that way. Best way to do it is to get them to us by going to our website, WDEF.com/photos, and yours could be the next HEP heating weather window picture of the day. Thanks to the Tennessee Aquarium for letting us borrow the Chattanooga weather webcam from downtown on Aquarium Way. Not too many folks out and about, a few departing the parking lot and moving in past around Burger Republic, but beyond that, it's very quiet and hopefully should stay that way. We do have a few scattered showers out there, not by much, but at least a little bit, and you can see some of those clouds on the Island Cove Marina and Resort cameras, so we do have a decent amount of cloud cover and some showers. Temperatures toasty, but not as blazing hot as they were last time around. Northwesterly winds, dew point temperatures are up, and humidity levels also up at this time. So it's a little bit more sultry than what we saw just a couple of days ago. And we also have a decent amount of wildfire smoke across much of the region according to the latest scan. Every single red dot that you see on the screen here is a local wildfire, brand new, and there are dozens of them across the southeast United States. These are detected by the VEERS satellite system, keeping an eye on what is going on with the smoke out there. Now, when it comes to air quality, allergy currents first, we're not seeing a lot of problems. Mold spores and grass pollen also on the moderate side. Mold spores were way up high just a couple of days ago, now dropped, and tree and weed pollen down into the green or good category. Air quality overall is actually excellent compared to what we saw last week back in the yellow shaded categories there. Ozone gas a little bit less than what we saw last week. Particle pollution is down, even though we have some detected wildfire smoke out there. Carbon monoxide is a little higher, but it's still in the green category, especially when you consider that this is 191 parts per billion. So that is not a lot of anything to worry about where it comes to a lot of haze or air mist quality out there. We do have, again, some thunderstorms over parts of the East Coast. The Carolinas seeing the best part of that just off the Outer Banks and down toward coastal Georgia, a few thunderstorms there. We have some scattered light showers approaching the top of the 10 o'clock Eastern hour, wandering through mainly on I-75 side of things into southeast Tennessee, western North Carolina, and extreme northeastern Georgia at this point. The thunderstorms, what there were that tried to get going earlier, there's not that many of them left, to say the least, so we don't have much to show you in the way of rain. But some of these were more than likely going to dwindle in the next couple of hours, but from, say, Ottawa, Cleveland, up toward Athens, you may pick up a bit of a shower here. Northwest Georgia, northeast Alabama, Plateau is also not showing a lot going on, so very much on the quiet side there. The cause of all this, we've got moisture-rich air south of this front that is trying to make its way down closer to the Gulf and the Atlantic coast, and that is, again, where the bulk of the rainfall is forming. We've got another storm system sitting back up to our north. It would be coming through here, but for area of high pressure sitting just over the eastern Great Lakes, that is where we're going to see the blocking effect taking part there, to where that storm system is going to try to make its way closer to us, but it's really not going to, which means a couple of things. Number one, the moisture that we've got in that washed out front hanging around the southeast United States, the sun's going to shine on this, it's going to bubble the atmosphere, and we'll see more chances of thunderstorms and showers into the next several days. But this front is not going to trigger a lot of that, because most of that is going to get shoved up to the north and away from us. So we just don't really have anything going on in the way of major amounts of rainfall problems. Now also notice what goes on back to the west of us in the next couple of days, back into Mississippi, Arkansas, Louisiana, southern Missouri, high 90s to triple digits. But that's where the hot air is going to stay, because there's more sunshine out that direction and less rainfall. We'll continue the chances of showers right on in through the end of the week. Hopefully, again, not a problem for outdoor activities. Flash flood risk does continue for tonight east of Chattanooga, Blue Ridge, south part of the Appalachians, extreme eastern Tennessee, north central, northeast Georgia. We'll see that. That's for tonight. This, on the other hand, is for tomorrow. The threat begins to make its way back to the west. Again, this is for the potential of flash flooding, which means it's going to be a problem if we get enough rainfall over the same area. If the same storm passes over the same location, or several of the same types of storms head over the same location again and again and again, that drops rain on top of very saturated ground, and that means we could be looking at the potential of some flash flooding due to all of that, what is called training effect, like cars on a train track going over the same location over and over. Don't email me. It's a real thing. It's been around for a long time. We did not just make it up for ratings, as some people on Facebook accused us of doing so this weekend, which is not the case. which is also not the case for the terms polar vortex and bomb cyclone. We did not make those up for ratings purposes. They are actual meteorological terms, so again, something to look out for there. The threat for flash flooding will remain across the area as we get into the rest of the week. Whether or not this goes into the weekend or not, still waiting for the Storm Prediction Center to let us know, and the Weather Prediction Center to let us know about that. High 60s to low 70s for tonight. Could be some mid 60s here and there, but that's going to be about as cool as it gets. Low temperatures tonight, high temperatures tomorrow, low 80s to high 80s, and could be pushing 90 degrees, although that should mostly be out the window tomorrow. If there's enough sunshine, northern Georgia, northeast Alabama, south of the Tennessee line, you'll be the best spot to give us the potential of some of that in the way of close to 90-degree reading out across portions of the area. This is really, again, it's not entirely unexpected, and you could even call this typical behavior, even with a strong El Nino taking place, with dusty air from off the Sahara, just a continuous supply, making that run of dust from Africa across the Atlantic to South America, the Caribbean. That is all doing a very good job of squashing any tropical storm development. So for the, I believe, second or third week in a row, we have no active potential storms across the entire Atlantic basin. So there just is nothing going on in the Atlantic, the Gulf, the Caribbean, any place like that. Likewise, what's left of Genevieve, you can still see the remnant spiraling low pressure, but the National Hurricane Center issued its last advisory this weekend, so Genevieve is no longer a threat, no longer a fish storm technically, because it's not bothering anybody but the fish, and it's no threat to the Hawaiian Islands. Fausto, way over the limb on the western side of the Pacific, what's left of it. So that is all we have to talk about for tonight. And as of right now, according to what the National Hurricane Center is showing, no development in the Pacific or the Atlantic or the Gulf or the Caribbean or for the next 7 days. Now, something could pop up at some point in time, but we're not seeing it. So as of right now, clear on both coasts. But please, please, please remember that if you're heading to a coastline that could be affected by tropical weather, these lulls in activity can happen, but it is also a possibility that we could see, again, one storm pop up like Andrew did back in '92, if I'm not mistaken, and just really gain strength very quickly, becoming a very big danger. So, that being said, any vacation near a body of water like the Pacific, the Atlantic, the Gulf, you're going to need to pay attention, because it only takes one storm to ruin somebody's day and or life. So let's all please pay attention to what's going on out there. For tonight, into the rest of the next several days, there's another term besides polar vortex and bomb cyclone that applies very well in this particular forecast. This is known as persistence forecasting, to where little, if anything, is going to be changing anytime soon. This forecast is going to persist for the next several days. Highs in the high 80s, minimum temperatures in the low 70s, and a chance of showers and thunderstorms every single day this week. So it is going to be remarkably similar all the way on through. But at this time of the year, when we don't hit the triple digits in August, and we still could with no problem going into the last part of the year with about 3 to 4 months left after this, right now things are going to be just basically holding right about just below normal. That's, again, can happen at this time of the year. We can't really say that it's a specific again, trend taking place. Don't forget about the flash flooding going on, something to watch out for there. National Root Beer Float Day, appropriately on Thursday. Looks like a good day for a root beer float to cool you off. And next Monday is World Lion Day. So a couple of holidays coming up out there that you might like to take a look at and to keep an eye on there. We'll keep an eye on the forecast and give you an idea as to what we may be looking for in the course of the next several days, so keep it tuned for updates on the forecast. Thanks to everybody who sends in the pictures for our HEP heating weather window picture of the day. If you've got pictures, we'd love to see them. Congratulations to News 12 viewer Mary Payne from Calhoun for forwarding along her son John's picture of a rising full pink moon in Homedale, Idaho. You took the lion's share of the votes for the most popular weather window picture from last week. Thanks to everybody for participating, but Mary Payne from Calhoun, you're the winner on that. Again, if you'd like to vote in our polls, news, sports, weather, let's chat, WDEF.com/vote now. We'll have a new poll going up at midnight, so stay tuned. Pay attention for more there. Overnight, before breakfast hits and that first cup of coffee goes down, temperatures quite mild once again, very close to our normals, back into the lower 70s. Don't forget about Chip. He's got your forecast as well as a look at time saver traffic. Got all kinds of stuff like news and sports for the morning, so check that out starting at 5 a.m. And we'll have more updates of your forecast through the day on News 12, so stay tuned for that. Been on for about 15 minutes. Again, that's not bad, especially with little, if anything, taking place for weather overtime tonight. So we're going to go ahead and wrap it up and send it back to your typical Monday evening activities going on. Again, for tonight, very quiet, passing showers, but that's really about all we have for right now. So that should do it for this evening. Again, Chip has your forecast in the morning. Want to thank especially, again, our sponsor for Weather Overtime, Epicos Comics, Cards, and Games. Thanks a lot for being our one-stop geek shop. I got to get back out there again. I'd love to find one of those 100-sided dies. Wondering if I could use that to sort of check and see if random chance would alter a better forecast or not. Be kind of neat to see that. Any mathematicians out there with any ideas about how we could do that, please let me know. Email address down below in the blue bar at aonek@wdef.com. That'll do it for tonight. Thanks for joining us for Weather Overtime. Stay tuned for much more as we go into tonight's News 12 at 11, and again coming out throughout the rest of the week on News 12. Thanks for joining.